Yeah, I'm only fucking 20 minutes late.
Hey, everybody! We are live and in the buff. We are sorry. We had some technical difficulties over here, but we are live with special guest Ryan Opray from Survivor Pearl Islands. Ryan, it's great to have you on the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Sorry it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to use a computer, and now I'm on a phone. So
you're clearly not a millennial.
I'm a little illiterate when it comes to computers.
So we've got a lot to talk about based on last night's episode of Survivor. So we want to just jump right into it. And last night kind of started off, really quick with David getting into it. Again, showing his idol to somebody. What do you guys think? Is that a smart move, or is that, like David says, is that a show of trust?
I think David trusts too many people too quickly. If idols were happening in the Pearl Islands, I wouldn't really be showing it to too many people straight away. But as soon as he gets another one, I think it just paints a target on your back immediately. And if you got an idol, then it's like, hey, let's flush the idol. If you're a smart game player, you try to flush him. So I understand him trying to get some trust and talk to people and stuff. He's excited. David and I talk, and he's so pumped. He's like, oh, I'm a super fan, and this is so cool. But I think that if he backs off a little bit, he's going to go deep in the game. I just have that feeling.
Totally. So, but what do you think about idols in general? I mean, since you're our guest tonight, and you mentioned in your season it's idols, because Zach and I have talked about, like, what do you think has changed the game the most? And in my opinion, I think the play of idols and like how they just find them and all that stuff. Compared, because I was reviewing some of your season and older seasons.
Well,
so what do you think?
Rob, I think you're right. I mean, the idol, especially for me, because of the Outcast thing. I know you guys everybody remembers Outcast. And as soon as that happened, Andrew and our days were numbered. So, Lil comes back. I'm betting $1 million that there were probably 35 buffs that were Morgan buffs in there, and then she reaches in there and grabs one. Of course, she's going to come back to us for the extra drama. And they probably told Burton, no, you go second. So I think an idol would have saved my ass. If I had one idol, things would have been totally different. Actually, a lot of the production guys that I talked to had said that they thought I was going to be either at the end or win the game, because I made relationships with Rupert and everybody except for maybe Krista and Sandra, I really got along with. And I don't know if obviously it didn't help me, but I figured, being a super fan, I was like, oh, this is the game I'm going to play. I'm going to be strong in challenges, but I got to at least make those connections with people on the other side, even though I hated them. And it helped me to a certain extent. And then Fair Play caught on to it. And he's like, we got to get rid of him.
All right.
You there? I think it ceased.
No, I actually lost internet for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
So yeah, but you were talking. That's absolutely fine. So I managed to.
Oh, it was cool. I caught it all.
I managed to sneak in without anybody noticing. So I didn't catch everything, but obviously you guys are talking about relationships and trust still, and David.
Well, no, he brought up an interesting. Ryan brought up an interesting thing about your relationship with the production crew, or I guess the film people, or whoever in the background. And I think since we have somebody who's been on Survivor, that's always sort of the juicy that I think people want to know. So Is that typical, do you think, or
Mark Burnett kind of shies away from that kind of stuff. He doesn't. He wants us to have an experience without, I guess, production involvement, pretty much. So as far as the camera guy, I'm a working class dude. I was an electrician for a long time. I did construction. Now, I'm not a cocky. I mean, I am kind of cocky, but I'm not an asshole where I'm going to walk by you if you're working your ass off carrying a camera around in the fucking sweltering heat and the rain all the time. And, those guys bust their ass. So I would always say hi to them and stuff like that. And I catch wind of stuff, and they actually told me later they thought I was either going to win or go deep.
Unfortunately, you ended up being what we've started calling now the mayor of Ponderosa, I believe.
Yeah, right. I like that. The mayor of Ponderosa. That's cool.
So let's kind of move on to the reward challenge. Michaela made an interesting comment last night before the challenge started. Sometimes you say what you're supposed to say and not what you want to say.
Yeah, that does happen.
Any thoughts on that, or?
I think I thought Michaela played a little bit of a reckless game with her mouth, and she didn't need to because she was killing it in challenges. And I think that was her downfall. You don't tell people how things are going to go. And well, it's the same thing with Lucy. Look what happened to her. You start telling people what to do and they want to get rid of you. And, Michaela told these people that were her 3. And when you start talking like that and you show your intelligence and you show people the game, you're fucked. And you don't do it that early in the game. You can at a certain point in the game, but you really got to let things filter out. People get crazy, let the first 7 weeks go by and kind of just let it, things develop, and then start making moves. Like, well, unfortunately, Brenda Lowe didn't end up winning the, was that fans versus favorites,
Right.
And she played a perfect game. You didn't really see a whole lot of her in the beginning, making her moves towards the end, but Cochran was smart enough to get rid of her, but that happens.
Yeah,
right.
You were saying that it was her mouth, though, that was getting her done. I think what really did her in, at least the way they showed it on TV, was when she did her little shell game, the shell and the pebbles or whatever it was.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Because that's when she really revealed that she was that intelligent to really be playing that strategically, thinking that far ahead. And that's what really scared Jay, I think. He was like, oh my gosh. And he pulled away.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily her mouth, initially at least.
Well, I think what I misspoke. What I meant was her intelligence when she was talking, her not like being mouthy, but speaking her mind and showing that the shell thing was just brilliant. I mean, brilliant. That, but you can show that to people on television by yourself when you're talking to production, but I wouldn't sit there with you guys and go, okay, this is the game plan, I'm quarterbacking this thing. When you start telling people that kind of stuff, then you really start thinking, maybe this player needs to go bye-bye. Because if she reconnects, at the merge with her buddies and, well, I don't know, I think people are kind of getting tired of her anyways. I think there's more to it than that. I think they're kind of, it looked like they missed something, I mean, it was a great tribal, but it seemed like there was some footage that didn't really make it to TV per se. Don't you guys think?
Speaking of changes to Survivor, we talked about the idol play and how that's changed things, but so you probably watch an episode with a different perspective than most of us who just sit in our living rooms. And in watching the old episodes, I was like, God, the pace seems so glacial, like slow, and they were really getting into the depth of it. And Zach and I have talked about how this season seems very boom, boom, boom. There are 3 tribes. It's, like one scene at camp, and then you're at the challenge and whatever. So, do you see a lot of, or do you have insights behind how they film it and what they show and how things have changed?
Well, I think it's to do with the character development's gone. And I think when they had 16 players, I think that was ideal because you had 39 days, you had 16 people, you could actually develop characters, people could talk, automatically going, okay, they're getting voted out tonight. You know what I mean? Like as soon as somebody that hasn't talked for a while starts speaking, you're like, oh, they're going home. Well, on my season, you didn't really, there was such character development. You got relationships with people when there's less contestants. So I think going 20 or 18 is just too many people. I think if they went back to 8 versus 8 and just kind of left it to that, I think I think Probst has messed with stuff too much. I think he's trying too hard to keep Survivor around, and the diehard fans are never going anywhere. The fair weather people will take off, but when it comes to the show, you don't really need to monkey with it. It's like Big Brother. I'm a huge fan of Big Brother. Stop messing with the show. Let it develop. Let the castaways or the people on Big Brother or whatever, you know what I mean, do their thing, and stop adding twists. It's nonsense.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially on Big Brother. Just because you don't need these many twists. The twists are going to happen on their own just by players doing nutso things.
Yeah, organically. Leave it the way it is, organically. But some people really like the drama. Survivor's gone more towards being a reality TV show than a survival game challenge show, which is great. I'm kind of getting tired of the drama, where I like more of a balance.
Right.
It's like watching the Kardashians or something.
Which I've never done.
My dad watches it. I catch him watching it. I'm like, what are you watching?
No, but oh damn, I had something I was gonna say. Don't you hate when that happens?
I screwed up your train of thought. If I'm talking too much, tell me.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It'll come back. It'll come back, and I'll say it again sometime later. But let's talk about let's talk a little bit about Brett, because Brett came out as he's talking about being a funeral director, and all the fans at home, we all know that he's a cop. But apparently, copdar is something that exists among non-cops too. We all saw Sarah Lucina, pick out Tony right away.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that Hannah did that.
Well, you know what though? Why did he make it such a big deal? Why lie that you're a police officer? I think doing that, everybody figured it out really quickly. So it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I can understand maybe lying about being very wealthy,
yeah,
or being a football star or a baseball star or something like that. But I didn't get it. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. But as when you said Brett's name, I was thinking of Brett Klauser. I'm all, what is he on season?
Wrong Brett.
Yeah, no, I know. But he's another character that really hasn't been developed too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see him get more airtime, maybe even Sunday, but it's sometimes they focus on, I don't know. Anyways, that's just my thought.
So that Zach, our host, has like this little spreadsheet. You should look at it about who gets the airtime per
Oh yeah.
Oh no shit.
I've started.
Oh, for real. You should look at this stuff because you're talking about it. Like it's really interesting.
I started in.
No, I totally
during
will.
Cambodia.
You have to shoot it over.
I started counting confessionals, and I've been doing that for 3 seasons now. So it's posted on my Twitter.
No, I
right.
definitely
The
will
revelation this week, Zach, was that like what were the 3? It was Adam.
There's 4 players left who have gotten at least one confessional every episode, and it's David, Zeke, Adam, and Jay.
And so the theory behind this is that they're
Final
like
4.
or likely to be at least definitely in the mix towards.
They'll be at least the big stories.
Yeah.
And
well, I hope so. I hope David is on a returning season. I don't think somebody said something about Michaela being on season 34. I didn't think she was. I don't know what you guys know about that. I haven't been really getting on the blogs or anything too much, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm aware of the cast. I'm kind of putting off talking about it too much, just because I know there are people out there who don't want the spoilers so much.
Yeah,
that's me included in that.
So there's certain things that I like spoiled, and I'm okay with having a cast spoiled, but I know not everybody is.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying. So I don't want to say anything on air.
Oh no, I don't know anything. I just heard somebody talking about Michaela, and I was like, why Michaela over somebody like Vesepia? That doesn't. I mean, maybe because she's younger, but Vesepia out of a lot. What's that?
I'd love to see Vesepia come back.
I'm shocked she hasn't been back. That blow. And Sean Rector, like, come on. I sometimes casting really kills me when they bring people back. I'm like, I get it. You guys are in love with these people, but 4 times is enough.
It's the recency bias.
2 times.
Some of them.
Yeah. So, anyways.
All right. Well, let's jump straight to the immunity challenge, and we've seen two challenges this week, and several since we've split to 3 tribes, where Vanua has been dead last and come from behind to win, or at least win immunity. How hard is that to do, Ryan?
Well, from my standpoint, it seemed like we were always behind the 8 ball when it came to when we were Drake. Dara and I were swimming. Everybody else couldn't swim or wouldn't swim, and Andrew because so I understood that. And Austin, bless his heart, he tried. Tawana tried, Ryan tried, Lil tried, but Dara and I were the best swimmers on the team. But everybody but Sandra could swim on Drake. So it's weird when you're so far behind and then you have a comeback. You have no idea what it is like, as far as like the lowest of lows, being bummed out, to the highest of highs and winning the immunity challenge, especially being that hungry. And I'm sure David and the rest of the crew, when they made that comeback, it was like, they looked terrible. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah,
but
it's really been Chris on the challenges every time.
Yeah,
he's put that tribe on his back, I think.
Yeah, he has definitely done his work.
Yeah, he's a beast. Totally. But you bring up something about like swimming and your inherent skills coming into the game, and talking about people who can't swim and things like that. Like, was that something on your mind going into the game, or do you think that's something that should be on these contestants? Because we talked about this in, I think, one of our first episodes. So if you're going to go on the game of Survivor, you might want to know something about making fire, perhaps, or like be able to
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, a lot of people, though, you got to remember they're recruits, and depending on where they're going, say they don't get people from LA and they're in an area where, I don't know, New York or something like that. A lot of people that are recruits don't really give a shit about the show. So they don't think about that kind of stuff. So they're not, in the back of their mind, they're not like, oh, I need to do fire. They just kind of think it's fake. A lot of people think it's fake. The recruits are like, oh, I didn't know it'd be this real. And that's the honest truth. I've talked to people and they're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that hard. What did you think it was going to be? You're going to have a makeup crew and you're going to have craft service there and feeding you.
Right. And
this isn't Paradise Island.
And you were sort of like a survivor. You're like a super fan, like going into it, because you were an alternate or whatever. You had applied many times or a couple times.
Yeah, I was alternate for 3, 5, 6, and got on 7. So I was totally into it, and obviously my shelters got beat up. I'm sure you guys saw that. We had to keep moving them because was just being lazy at that point. I love Austin, but he was like, I don't want to move it. He was tired. And so we ended up putting logs up. So we looked like total idiots. And I was like, we got to move the shelter. But, building the shelter was easy for me. And, Lil and I maintained the fire. Austin was always on the fire. So kind of worked out the way it was supposed to. Everything, as a group, we did really well. But you're right. You have to, if you're going to apply to the show, really, I know people that won't even watch the DVDs. Like, you're not going to watch how other people play the game. That's fine. But you're going to go out there like a dummy. But I honestly think what they need to do is, what's that?
And they still want to be on the show, though. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's
so
all the
how
money.
Would you compare this though to the behavior? Because I don't know if you watch the Naked and Afraid. It's like on I don't know what channel it's on.
Yeah.
So they maroon these people like with no clothes and no food and nothing. It's like even more severe than Survivor.
Yeah.
But said in their casting that they particularly want people who don't know anything or aren't that into this.
Yeah,
so that they like really experience it and they get more raw. So do you think that's something that Survivor is about, or?
I think they're trying to get a certain amount of people that know what they're doing. My friend keeps texting me. But the thing is, the reality is they'll get some people on there for their drama that are like, oh my God, it's raining. I can't believe this is these bugs and the snake. And they jump for like David. I love David. Like he's become my buddy, but he is so scared to be perfect on a show together. Because Austin in the beginning, Austin was jumping around and leaves and stuff would brush him and he'd jump and for television, and so's David. It's like he's covering his ears when Brett and Chris are using the machete to cut the bamboo, and he's got his fingers in his ears. Like, it's loud. I'm thinking to myself, man, this guy's a character. I would have much rather had him than Skinny Ryan. I honestly would have loved. I would have loved David. I would have loved David.
Poor Skinny
Ryan. No, Ryan is a great kid. He was way out of his element, and he wasn't very social. And, he tried to make it seem like Andrew and I were putting him on the outs. He just wasn't social. And I'm like, dude, you got to like hang out with the boys, let's go fucking do it. He was just not interested. And and I told him, oh, dude, you applied to Survivor. It's a social game. So, Hey, I might lose you, but I got to check something real quick. Okay.
All right.
I gotta check something. Sorry. What time is it right now? 8:15?
Yeah.
I keep getting a text message and I can't. Hold on 1 second. I think you guys are still there.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hold on one second. My friend can't find my place, and she's here. Sorry about that, guys. She might text me again. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Just can't see you.
Okay, cool.
There you are.
Yeah.
So I had a hypothetical for you. You mentioned that you were an alternate on for seasons 3, 5, and 6, and I'm just curious. Like,
Yeah.
Of those 3, which one of those would you have rather been on, or do you think you would have done better on?
I think I would have done good on Thailand. I don't know why. I just think I would have been pretty decent on Thailand. I think I would have replaced Rob Z. Maybe Africa.
I think if you had been on Thailand, you probably would have been the most likable player.
Yeah, that would have been well. Wait, I wasn't the most likable player on Pearl Islands. Sandra, I know Sandra was.
That's not what I said.
Sandra. Yeah, no. Thailand would have been cool. Thailand would have been a good season. Actually, John Carroll posted something on Facebook about Marquesas, and I go, man, is that an underrated season? I really liked it. But, I don't know that many people that are Survivor fans that'll go that deep to buy DVDs and check stuff out, because you really can see how the show. You have Marquesas.
On,
dude.
I have everything.
Do you? That's awesome. I'm way behind the times.
Yeah.
I need to get some more DVDs. Shit.
Zach's
guys, I'm gonna have to
cut
out in a little bit.
Zach is a total. I mean, look, he's wearing your buff, so.
I know. I love that. That's awesome. Meanwhile, I'm wearing a Detroit Tigers hat because I dressed like Tom Selleck on Halloween.
You're clearly overdressed for this episode.
Yeah, I am overdressed. Shit, I'm losing you.
Uh-oh. Can you still hear us?
Hello.
Oh, you're still there.
You're still there.
Okay.
All right. So
here, I gotta get going though. I have to run.
All right.
I'm sorry I fucked up and cut it short. Can we do it another time?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have you on again.
My friend's outside and she's stuck and scared. I mean, I can get, if you guys will give me a second, I can run out and get back on.
It's been great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you go have fun on your date.
You had to say that live, Zach. You're killing me, brother. Hey, Rob, Zach, it was nice meeting you guys, though.
Hey,
I'll make it up to you. I'll be naked. just from the waist down, though. I'll talk, but I'll be naked from the waist down.
No, I mean, you see how much you see on us, so.
Yeah, no, I know. It's cool.
It's no biggie.
Remember, it's Zach's outline. It's always optional. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all
right.
Next time I'll be half naked.
All right.
All right, guys. I'm sorry about that. Let's plan for another time soon.
All right, will do.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right. You have a good night.
All right, guys.
All right. So I hope I didn't ruin that for him.
So that was total fun.
But we are still live, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about
let's get
back.
So first of all, thank you to Ryan for being on the show.
Yes, awesome. Definitely. That was very cool. He's our first former Castaway guest.
And let's get some more. Come on, it would have been fun with Rupert as well versus Ryan on the same show.
Let's work on.
Let's work on that, Zach.
We'll work on that. I've been kind of working on that. It's it's tough to get people to agree to come on. I'll say that. But I want to talk about tribal council. We got about 15 minutes left, so I want to talk about tribal council and.
Well, and I have one thing I want to talk about too.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about like the first scene before we get to tribal council. So they come back from last week's tribal council.
Okay.
And Adam has totally voted off Figgy, betrayed, whatever. I don't think he really betrayed them per se. But so the scene shows that Adam and Taylor go off and
have a conversation.
Yeah. Have a conversation. And what did you think about that conversation? Because, well, what did you think about the conversation?
I thought that it was. I didn't think that Adam did anything wrong to start out.
But then why?
I think that Taylor and Figgy were foolish to try to think that they had Adam as a number anyway.
Okay, but if you were Adam playing the game,
I would have done the exact same thing.
Really?
I would have voted out Figgy.
Screwed you. Yeah.
I don't know that I would have said it like that.
No.
I would have.
Adam was really playing the game, and he goes and has. I think he should have had a conversation with Taylor at some point. Yes, totally.
Okay.
But at least what they showed, he was like, "Yeah, I totally screwed you." Blah blah blah. He was just feeding fire or wood into the fire of Taylor, eventually voting him out. Whereas he could have been like, listen, man, I'm sorry I had to vote out Figgy, but this is why I had to do it, and this is why we need to work together going forward. Like, don't you think, like, I thought Adam made a really big mistake. Not in voting Figgy out, but in the way that he dealt with Taylor after the fact.
Okay, I see where you're at now.
I was just like, what are you doing this whole time? And he was like, yeah, I totally screwed you. Yeah, I totally betrayed you. I think he even said betrayed or something. I was like,
I don't think you said anything that Taylor didn't already know or think though either.
Well, but what did Jess say? Jess was the one that was like...
Jess said that,
she had some comment in the episode that was like...
something along the lines of Taylor isn't a strategist.
Yeah. I mean, he's got really pretty blue eyes, but they're about as blank looking as his strategy or something.
Right. But she also said that, they might be able to trust Taylor's word more just because he's so naive, as opposed to Adam, who's actually kind of playing the game.
True, very true.
So, but I'm hoping that isn't what happens, but because I don't like Taylor, and I'd rather not see Ken and Jess team up with them.
You don't like Ken and Jess.
I do like Ken and Jess.
But you don't want them to team up.
I don't want them to team up with Taylor.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm starting to warm up to Jess. I have to say.
See, I've liked Jess from the very beginning, just because as a big reason, because she was the first of the new castaways to follow back on Twitter, and she's been very involved with the fans.
Nice.
So yeah, Jess is big favorite. But I don't want her working with people that I don't like, and that's kind of how it is every season when you're watching as a fan. It's like, What about the sneeze? I can feel it coming. Talking about it makes you go away.
Right. So let's get back to Tribal Council.
Tribal Council, yeah, because we've talked a lot about everything else. It seems like.
Yeah. So,
do you? I can understand Jay's vote. We've been spending the last couple weeks talking a lot about Michaela and how she was a challenge beast.
Apparently, a little bit tonight with Ryan.
Right.
Where did Michaela go wrong? So Michaela gets voted out. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you haven't seen the episode, you should not be watching this.
But so Michaela gets voted out. And Adam does it, essentially.
And Adam doesn't?
No. But so why does Michaela get voted out is where you were going, right? Like why does Jay make that vote? I think I said Adam, but I meant Jay.
Yeah. Okay. That's where you threw me off. Yeah. No, I think that they started to realize, she's starting to strategize. She's got a plan, and she's, beasting the challenges, and she's going to be. She would have been someone. She would have been somebody to. She would have been someone to beat, when it got down to individual immunity challenges.
Yeah, I think she was a total threat. Voting her out was wise. But I don't think I don't think Jay made that vote because she was a beast at challenges or because she was a threat at camp or too bossy. I think it was when the scene that they showed where she had the shells and pebbles and strategy and
yeah,
because she had this really profound. I don't know if it's profound.
She had an in-depth plan.
She had this in-depth plan where she was like, it doesn't matter who we vote out or whatever. As long as one of them goes, it doesn't matter because in the end, we'll all still be here. Like it was prophetic at best.
Right. And that's what happens.
That's what sealed her fate. We talked about David revealing his idol. Revealing an idol isn't necessarily as, at least in David's case, because he's already played one, but, just because you have an idol doesn't mean that you're giving away everything you have. But if you give away your whole strategy, which I think Michaela did,
yeah,
that's when they come in and clench it. They're like, no, you can't do this.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of comparisons between her and Devon from Big Brother. They're just strategizing too much and talking and thinking too far ahead out loud. That's kind of. I think that's the extent of the comparison.
Right. Actually, with Big Brother, that's an interesting comparison with Devon and sort of that whole situation last season. But
yeah. So Michaela and Jay had this really intense stare down. That's not. I think that's probably the most intense stare down I've ever seen. It surpasses Chris and Eliza from Vanuatu.
Maybe, but so in the tribal council though. So if I remember right, Michaela's like, "Did you do this?
Did you do that?" Yeah.
And he's like,
"Yeah, I did it.
Ah, I totally did it." That to me was the most telling moment of tribal council. He sort of jumped on it and he was like, yeah, bye bitch.
I'm surprised that Jay is still in the is in that top 4 people who've had an episode confessional every episode, which makes me think that he's gonna end up at the end, and that's just because based on what I've seen, he's really surprising that he's really proving to be a strong strategist.
Well, so if he does go further in the game, I think this week, when they ask that infamous question, what play in the game or what move in the game really set you in place to be like at the final 2 or whatever, wherever he ends up. This week, in voting Michaela out would definitely be his game changer move, don't you think?
I totally agree. This could be the move where he takes over the game. But we're still early.
But it's not that early.
We're at day 20, day 22.
And what's going to happen next week, Zach?
We know Merge is coming next week.
Exactly.
So, which brings up, the next little short topic. Okay, so we're merging at 13, and the numbers are 7 millennials, 6 Gen X.
But then, so we've talked about this.
They're also merging from 3 tribes.
Right, and we have some defectors.
Right,
or suspected defectors at least.
And it looks like we've got at least 1 on each tribe now, because we've got Zeke and Adam and Hannah.
Right. But Zeke, Adam, and Anna, they're all millennials.
Correct. But they're all
the defectors who would side with the other team. So
that's what I think. I'm thinking that the numbers are going to line up in Gen X's favor. I don't see anybody else. I don't see Jay. I see Jay and Taylor and Michelle getting back together, and I can't see anybody but Will maybe joining them. And I see everybody else on the other side.
It's going to be interesting how they start to interact. And that's the whole premise of the season, because, we're dealing with millennials versus the Gen Xers and that whole dichotomy. Now that we have supposed defectors, so to speak, Zeke and those who seem to identify or have been playing with Gen Xers or vice versa, whatever. So when they finally do merge and start trying to work together, that's going to be telling of the whole premise of the season.
Yeah. This is so that's I think we've talked about just about everything now. Any final thoughts?
No, I don't think. Not tonight.
No, not tonight. We've talked about. I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover. So let's. We'll see you guys next week. I'm looking forward to next week, the merge episode. Not sure where the lines are going to be drawn. as far as alliances, or whether it's going to end up being voting blocks. So we're looking forward to next week's episode, and having a new show for you next week. So just remember that clothing is always optional, and nudity is never required.